Hey guys, Pharaoh here with League Top 10, and today we're doing another Summoner Synapse. Now, this is a pre-made game from the blue team's perspective, and just looking at the team comp, I would say that the lanes are probably going to be Udyr versus Malphite top, obviously Gangplank and Fiddles in the jungle, probably Ashe and Gragas bottom, which is a weird pairing, but you can't give Gragas a solo if he's carrying Clairvoyance, because then he's just going to get completely run on. Against Taric and Tristana bottom, which is also a weird pairing because you usually see Tristana with something a little less aggressive than Taric, something like a Sona or a Soraka. But, that Taric works fine in every lane. And there is Malzahar versus Xerath mid. Now, I'd say that the lanes are probably in purple team's favor because they're running a little more traditional comp with the dedicated support bottom laning with the AD carry. I'm interested to see how this is going to work for blue team because Gragas not having flash means that he's going to be very easy to jump on. And these are the Gangplank's runes and masteries, 2109, perfectly standard. Runes are standard as well, although I use more attack speed than armor penetration when I jungle on Gangplank. I think I use attack speed quints, actually. But that makes the raw damage from Gangplank a little bit weaker, but it allows you to jungle more effectively, and you can start Vamp Scepter instead of Cloth 5 health potions like he's doing here. Now here you can see they're lining up to invade on the enemy jungle because I know Fiddlestick starts at blue. Now, I wouldn't run in here because the enemy team, I would say, has the advantage in a level 1 fight, but they're not trying to fight, and here they're just stealing the enemy blue. Now, I would not leave that little minion up. I would take it because you need to have the timer for Fiddlesticks as blue. If you know when it's up, then you know when you can camp it, and you know when you can steal it again. Here, Gangplank is just doing standard, start at wolves, etc. One thing that I would not do is, as the jungler, I wouldn't be the one tanking the blue if we're going to steal it. If everyone's there, just have Malphite do it or Gragas do it. But now the lanes are a little bit weird. Xerath is top against Udyr, which is silly because he's just going to get completely dominated. Like, there's no way that they're going to be able to do anything about that. And here, Gangplank's going back to check his blue to make sure that Fiddles didn't come and take it. Now, there's no need for him to have run all the way back there after it was Clairvoyance. So I think that was a mistake. That was a waste of time in the jungle. I actually don't even remember if I mentioned it, but Xerath definitely just got killed. It looks like they're throwing Gragas up there, which is also going to be a mistake because Gragas has Clairvoyance teleport, which means Udyr has one useful summoner spell over the Gragas. Now, this is, again, pretty standard Gangplank jungle stuff. You either start Cloth 5 health potions or Vamp Scepter, and then you pill and get the one that you didn't get before. Then you start Wolves, Wraiths, Double Golems, and then pill, purchase, get your blue, and then you do a full clear. So here they're doing a good job of clairvoyancing Fiddlesticks, which I always like to see, but the Ashe mid against Malzahar is probably going to have a lot of trouble. Just because Malzahar's harass is actually really good, and specifically if he's smart about the Voidling, he'd be able to never get hit by a volley. This, I think, pilling right there was probably a result of the weaker jungle rune page. You should be able to do a full blue to red without having to go back to the fountain, especially when you've taken the time to put mastery points into increased minion damage. Like, there's no reason for you to have a delay on that. So, let's see, Udyr versus Gragas, like, I just can't see that Gragas winning. Malphite versus Xerath should be fine against Taric Tristana. Like, they probably won't get any kills, but they probably won't die either, just because Taric Tristana is going to be able to play so defensively. Excellent Clairvoyance catches Fiddlesticks trying to gank mid, and sends him back. So, oh wow, looks like they managed to pick up a kill bottom, which is great. Gangplank hits 6 and is going to pill. Now, I don't like that he bought a longsword before boots. As a jungler, I think it's incredibly important that on your first purchase you always pick up boots, like after you get double buffs or whatever. So now there's a gank going on bottom. One thing that I am going to say is that I feel like he should come up through the river right now and just pound on that Fiddlesticks. It's like such an easy kill right now, but your Xerath is out of mana. He should definitely raise morale here, but he doesn't. Xerath gets jumped on and knocked back. And now is a good time for you guys to back away. Realistically, the Taric is out of mana. The Fiddlesticks is low on hit points, but he's probably just going to drain to full. Malzahar gets a kill on Ashe mid. That's basically to be expected. And Tristana jumps on Malphite. Taric flashes for the Shatter, but Tristana was going to get him anyway with the Ignite. Gangplank manages to pick up a kill. That's great that he turned around as that kill finished, because you don't need to chase an out-of-mana Taric when your passive is ticking on him. Like, that's... You've got nothing to do there. If he would have chased any further, he probably would have died to Tristana Fiddlesticks. So now he's just staying here for the experience, because someone should be. One thing that I am going to point out that I didn't have time to earlier, I think, is the Fiddlesticks' blue lizard is still up. They should definitely go, like, either kill that or see if Fiddlesticks finally cleared it, because it's a huge deal to have timers on your opponent's jungle. Like, if you have the timers, that means you control the ebb and the flow of the game. So that is something that should definitely be taken care of sometime soon. So now here, Gangplank's got enough money to definitely finish his Wriggles, pick up some wards. He should probably pill and do that. But it looks like... Okay, he's just walking up to blue to check if it's there. No, he's actually doing the blue, which I'm going to say is a massive mistake. You shouldn't do any buffs before you go back to base, which he's obviously getting ready to do because he's got 1,000 gold and is, I mean, kind of running low on hit points, but, you know, he's Gangplank, so not really. But yeah, he goes back to base anyway after picking up the blue buff, which is a waste of blue duration. Now, you know, you should definitely never pick up a buff right before you're back to base, but in this case, I guess it's fine because they're winning anyway, and he wasn't really needed anywhere on the map in particular. Top still getting messed up by that Udyr. That's something that you definitely need to worry about. If Udyr gets stacked, you could be in a lot of trouble. So here it looks like he's trying to fend off the Udyr, and then Gragas teleports in. They'll probably pick up a kill here, but you don't want to face tank this Udyr. It looks like he's got a Black Cleaver, which is a dumb item to get on Udyr, but yeah, I guess we're going to look at the inventory right now real quick, ladies and gentlemen, so I can tell you everyone's items. Looks like everything is standard so far in the game except for Udyr's Black Cleaver. Malzahar is actually rushing Death Cap, which I don't recommend. You should probably pick up 2 or 3 Doran's rings just in lane, you know, just to give yourself that kind of burst prevention with the health. And Udyr's Black Cleaver seems like a waste of inventory space because all of his damage comes from either the damage over time from Tiger or the proc from Phoenix, which is all magical. The other items seem perfectly standard. I like them on most of these characters. I think the Tristana should have 2 more Doran's Blades just to live in lane. But that's, you know, again, up to the user. So we're going to go back into game here, and looks like Gangplank's doing a good job of just running around the jungle and farming. Malzahar is in kind of a compromised position mid. You don't lead a gank with your ultimate. That's just a waste of basically everyone's time. See, what happened there is you ulted on top of the Malzahar, and he knew a gank was coming, so he was watching for the arrow, and he sidestepped it. If you would have led with the arrow and then followed up, you probably could have killed him before anything happened. But now it looks like the team is getting into a fight mid anyway. No. So ward placement is decent. I would have put that ward further down just because you have a ward watching that choke, but they're going to jump in on Taric here. And that's just a free kill because Tarek was in the wrong place at the wrong time. No oracles, no ward coverage. That's what happens, guys. So here Udyr dives after Ashe, gets crowd controlled, and picked off. That's exactly the way things go. You should definitely pick up Dragon right now. 2 of them are dead. You've got all of your bros nearby. Free Dragon. 100% free. But it looks like they're not going to do that. They're going to go for this Malzahar instead, land the arrow, Gragas ult, and just instantly dead. That's the way ganks should go off flawlessly. But it looks like they got a CV on Fiddlesticks at blue. They should absolutely contest this. They just killed off a Malzahar. And yeah, it looks like they're going in to fight for it. Xerath almost gets the kill just from raw burst. And they're going to go ahead and steal it. Now, Gangplank should smite this because when you're in the enemy jungle, you need to be in and out as fast as possible. Usually when I'm jungling and we counter jungle, I will use my smite to secure their buff, and then I will give whoever on my team needs blue, our blue buff. That way we're safer because we're in our woods and we got out of the enemy jungle faster. Of course, Udyr is bullying around that Gragas, which is, again, to be expected. Udyr is one of those characters that will take a small advantage and go a long way with it. Gragas definitely doesn't want to keep chasing him because that Udyr will mess him up. Like, Black Cleaver may not be an optimal item on Udyr, but you don't need optimal when you have such a high advantage. Like, especially when you consider the fact that Udyr has 2 summoner spells when Gragas has 0 combat spells. And yeah, it looks like Gragas has died to Udyr again. Gangplank's going to use his ultimate to clear the creeps. That's perfect. I would flash up to this guy right now and just try and kill him. Chasing him in the bush like that is dangerous because Udyr does a lot of damage. Yep, a lot of damage. But looked like he used fruit at the right time to get out of the bear stun, picked up the kill. Fighting going on middle, but nothing terribly impressive, courtesy of LoL replay. So, one thing that needs to happen right now is they need to take better control of the map. They have a crushing advantage. They should be warding the enemy red, the enemy blue, the 2 points in the North River and the 2 points in the South River, and that'll give them total vision of everything. They'll know exactly where everyone is, whether they walk through the wards or not, because when you have that much ward coverage, you know where people are just by the wards they don't walk through. Now, up top is a fight you definitely want to get into, but your Gragas doesn't want to get into it by himself because that Udyr is going to mess him up. Looks like Malphite got there on time, and they're able to pick off Tristana. Udyr is not going to be able to 1v3, so he's going to try and run away, which is pointless because you can't outrun Gangplank. That's just a fact of life, ladies and gentlemen. Raise morale plus red buff plus passive, like, you're not going to be able to get away from him. So, let's see, they're invading the enemy jungle, which I'd say is a good decision. You know, they picked up 2 kills. They're probably just rezzing right now. You can definitely distribute this red buff to anyone you want. The enemy blue just came back up. You know, going for that would be smarter than going for this fight right here, but it looks like the fight is going to work out for some reason. So they got 1 kill. Looks like a 2nd kill on Tarek, 3rd kill on Udyr. They don't know where Fiddle is. There he is. So Fiddle ults in, picks up 1 kill, probably going to get killed. And Tristana shows up. She'll probably pick up that Malphite. Or Malphite's fine. So I don't think that dive was intelligent. They should definitely pick up this blue. You can definitely do it at that HP. There's pretty much nothing stopping you because you just picked up 3 kills and Tristana's top, but it looks like they're just leaving the blue there. They're going to go for Dragon, which is smart, but it's not one or the other. You definitely could have had both, and counter jungling there would have been the smartest decision. So Right now he's got Triforce, looks like he's building Last Whisper. That's a standard Gangplank build. Usually you see Berserker's Greaves instead of Mercury Treads, but that's really personal preference. There's a fight going on up this river. I don't think that your team really wants to get into this because you guys are far away and you don't know where the enemy team is. So the enemy team shows up first, but you show up on time to kill Fiddlesticks. Ash shows up to slow the Malzahar, and the two guys who were in the early part of the fight managed to get away scot-free because the enemy team didn't respond fast enough. So far you've picked up, what, 3 kills? Maybe 4? And this Taric is definitely going to die for the 5th. Yep. So that fight I would say was a mistake, but it worked out pretty well for everybody. Inventory check, Malphite, Ninja Tabby, Warmog standard, Ash standard, Gragas. Some people like Rod of Ages. I don't, but it's pretty standard. Zareth, standard items. Soul Stealer on Taric is probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen, especially when your team is losing as much as you are right now. Tristana looks like she's going Gunblade, which is also wrong, but Malzahar is doing... He's doing mostly fine, and it looks like he's going for an Archangel's, which is a total mistake. So I don't like the lack of wards on the map right now. When you have this kind of lead, you should take advantage of the entire map. You need to be everywhere. You need to know everything that's going on. Right now it looks like there's a fight breaking out up top, and I really don't see that working out well for you guys because Gangplank and Ash aren't there. So that looks like you gave up, what, 3 kills for no reason? You know, that could easily be a counter Nashor for the enemy team, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that because I just don't think that they actually know that they could have gotten away with it. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, I don't even think they actually could have gotten away with it because their Tristana has Bilgewater Cutlass. So... definitely need some wards down here. Nashor is a good option for you guys right now. You've got such a crushing advantage. Like, this game is pretty much 100% over. The only problem on the enemy team, I mean, the only thing that could even be conceived as a threat, your Zareth is in the jungle by himself for no reason, giving the enemy team a chance to catch up, which is, again, stupid. Should not be there. Yeah, he gets caught, killed, and one person goes to help him. Gragas gives Malzahar a double kill. So, basically all of these mistakes that have been happening, the only reason this game didn't get surrendered at 20 is because of the mistakes that are being made by blue team to give the enemy team an advantage. You know, you saw bottom overextended pretty much the entire time, and they would trade kills when they had a massive lead. So here it looks like they're going to get into a fight at Dragon at like the 30-minute mark, which makes so little sense to me because usually what happens is if someone's posturing for Dragon at 30 minutes, just give it to them and go to Nashor. Like, that's usually the better idea. If someone wants Dragon that badly. But you guys are going to get into a fight here. Great Gragas ult is going to get Malzahar into your team, make him blow flash. Taric gets caught, killed, and Malzahar gets killed. Fiddlesticks ults in. He's not going to pick up anything because he's so far behind. And that's definitely game. There is no way that they can come back from that. So, the things that I would say I noticed wrong here, you didn't parlay enough in the jungle, and your team didn't drop enough wards. So that's... and definitely undervalued Nashor. So that's, you know, the Summoner review. Guys, try not to send me total stomps, alright? I don't want to have to sit through 35 minutes of a game to figure out if it's, you know, like the most epic comeback I've ever seen, or like it's just a complete one-sided stomp the entire way through. Do me a favor, and next week, instead of doing just pre-made 5s, I'm going to review solo queue games. So give me either a solo queue or a duo queue game where you guys did well, but you lost anyway. And I'm going to look at what the source of the problem is, if there's something you could have done about it, or if you just played absolutely flawlessly. So go ahead and send me those replays. This has been Farrah with League Top 10, and I will see you guys Wednesday with another Summoner Synapse because this one has been